Well, hi, everybody. It's the Week in the Tackle podcast. Week in the Tackle predicts the weekend. I'm Tom Rennie. Brian Dunseth is with me, looking directly into his crystal balls. How are you, mate? You all right?
Crystal balls, juggling them. Nice warm balls. Looking forward to another fantastic week of predictions because we were, as somebody once told me, spectacular last Friday.
Spot on with Arsenal win, Man City win, and Everton Tottenham's going to have absolutely no football in it, but it's going to be super fun. And that's exactly what happened. Listen, not for today, but I'll show you this. People on YouTube can see this. Today, look at this scrawlings of a madman. I have done my predictions for the rest of this season. So I'm going to be, just for the relegation race, I'm discounting Crystal Palace now because, of course, they won last weekend. And I have it, Dunny. So this is not my prediction for this weekend as yet. And I want to get you to do this, maybe for the podcast, maybe for the Sirius XM FC show. I don't know. But I currently have Southampton down. They're going to go. They're going to be relegated, bottom of the table. Nottingham Forest, second bottom. But then I have Leicester and West Ham both finishing on 31 points. Wow. And that would mean Leicester currently stay up on goal difference because I have Leicester winning just one game for the rest of this season. That's against West Ham on the final day of the season. So today, I've got to a situation following the debacle of West Ham's performance on Wednesday against Newcastle United, where they made Newcastle look like 70s Brazil. I've got it that it's going to be Southampton, Forest, and West Ham relegated this season. So I might get you to do one of these.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. Away at Fulham, Arsenal. You've got away at Bournemouth. You've got Liverpool, at Palace, at Man City, home against Man United, at Brentford, Leeds United at home, and finishing on the road at Leicester City. Yeah, I think to your question, where in the hell is David Moyes going to pull a rabbit out of his to find 3 points, to find 6 points, to find 9 points?
I've actually got it. I worked this out earlier on, and we'll do this at length another time. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins cumulative for these 8 teams for the final 8 weeks of the season. Leeds, my best team to be on 12 points. West Ham and Forest, my 2 worst team, getting 4 points. We will see. Look, this weekend we thought we would do, as we're going to try and do for most Fridays, something that you're looking forward to this weekend and something you're not looking forward to this weekend, as opposed to just straight predictions, because we're also trying to build some enthusiasm here. So, Dunny, what are you looking forward to this weekend? What's drawn your eye? What's got your attention? Where will your number one pick be for people to be all over it this weekend?
Yeah, it's got to be Saturday, right? It's got to be Wolverhampton Wanderers at home against Chelsea Football Club, and not for the quality of the match, but to get a good grip and an understanding of what the hell Frank Lampard is going to try to do with this group as a short-term manager through the end of the season. Remember, also, not only is it at Wolves, but then subsequently midweek, he jumps on an airplane immediately following the game on Saturday and heads down to Madrid to take on Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti, who just dropped 4 on Barcelona at the Camp Nou. So I am intrigued by so many different angles, because the idea of what you're watching from the outside is one thing, what you get on the training field is another, and with a short turnaround time in terms of preparation, who I would say, number one, what does his player profile with that group look like for his tactics? Is it 4 in the back? Is it 3 in the back? What does the midfield makeup look like? Thankfully, he's got N'Golo Kanté back, and he looks like he's just rewrapped the hands of time back into this crystal ball performance of the last 2 weeks, because he's just such a fantastic player. And it's been horrific to see that midfield without him for such a significant amount of time. And then can we lean into the idea that maybe there was some guys that were pretty pissed off at Frank Lampard at the end of his tenure as previous manager that are still still inside that line? Yeah, still inside that locker room, because I thought at the international window and the return from injury, the Christian Pulisic looked pretty dynamic. Will he get an opportunity after we were told he was dealing with some sickness last weekend underneath Graham Potter? So yeah, that's and then ultimately, can he do what Graham Potter was incapable of doing outside of Champions League? And that's really strumming a tune out of this group of players. Because I mean, there's a good group of players there. But I just don't know what the hell's happened this season to him.
Can you imagine Chelsea win the Champions League with Frank Lampard as manager? Can you imagine that? Incredible.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
No, it isn't. I'm looking forward to this especially as well, because I really want to find out why he's taken this job. Currently, we don't know. We speculated for some time on the SiriusXM FC show on Thursday when it happened. Then there's only two possibilities for me. Number one, he's given up on management and just wants to end his career on a high and be like, I went back in at Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea legend. He was speaking about how much he loved the club. It's my club, and he's kind of unveiling press conference. Or whether he wants to reset his managerial career to get a big job after this, and whatever happens, the way it ends at Chelsea, it'll never end as badly as it ended at Everton. So it kind of makes him appealing again to clubs that he wants to get a job at. So it's going to be fascinating to see. For me, it feels like a nostalgia hire. It feels like that maybe, the mascot experience at Chelsea is now extended to being manager for a week. I don't know. We will find out over the next weeks and months, but it's a fascinating hire. And I also love the idea that maybe he was just walking around the corridors of Stamford Bridge on Tuesday or Wednesday night, whenever it was, bumped into Todd Boehly, and Todd was like, "Oh yeah, Frank Lampard, you live 5 minutes from here.
Hey, you,
Kensington, you should come back here, man. Here's $10 million." Like, I love the idea that's what happened. For me, what I'm looking forward to this weekend is two games actually, but I want to draw your attention to them collectively because I think they're really interesting. It's Newcastle at Brentford. I watched Newcastle on Wednesday at West Ham, and I thought, they just look so together, so organized. A team is being well coached sometimes when you watch them. Everyone knows what space to go into. Everyone knows what teammate to cover. Everyone knows the way they're attacking. They have 3 or 4 different types of attacking. You mentioned this on our program on Thursday that West Ham made 4 changes. So Eddie Howe immediately had a plan to counteract that with 3 immediate switches of his own. He's got 2 strikers in terrific form, only 20 goals conceded all season, only 3 losses all season. Phenomenal. And they go to Brentford this weekend, one of the best teams at home all season. Do Brentford still have it in them? Or is their season over? Are they in that kind of we've achieved our goals moment of the campaign? We'll find out that one. Yeah. But also, I've got to pick out Tottenham Brighton as well, because Christian Stellini looks like someone you see begging for change on the streets of Milan. He's got no business being the manager of Tottenham Hotspur, the Antonio Conte lieutenant. And I thought the performance at Everton was so bad on Monday. I am stunned that he is still in charge of Tottenham by this game. I cannot believe they're just going to toss off the rest of this season and allow Man U and Newcastle to take those top 4 positions in 3 and 4. And Brighton are one of the best teams on the road this season, with a manager that Tottenham think they can get. At the moment, Brighton are going to go above them and be the challengers for United and Newcastle in those positions. So that's fascinating to me that Newcastle might extend that gap at one of the toughest places to go. And can Tottenham's brilliant recent home form continue against an actually really, really good team under a manager who's an utter no mark? So that's going to be really interesting. Danny, what are you not looking forward to this weekend?
Well, I would throw this in actually both categories. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not looking forward to the narrative surrounding Liverpool against Arsenal. I know for Jurgen Klopp and navigating these 3 matches, that when that popped up on the schedule, that couldn't have been more of like a horrific week for Jurgen Klopp, especially with the way the season has kind of played itself out with player performances, injuries, and just roundabout form. Especially, these are the games where you're trying to take as many points possible because they're not necessarily the teams that you should be beating based on the way the team is performed this season with Champions League aspirations. I would also say for Mikel Arteta and company, swagger in the step, right? Big hiccup for 3 or 4 games in February. And for a team that had every reason to potentially fall apart, they were galvanized. They had a little bit of help from referees, couple decisions, VARs that fell in their favor that previously during that stretch run where they struggled weren't happening in their favor. And now they got a little bit more arrogance to back up that swagger in those performances. So this is a big challenge and a big statement game for Mikel Arteta's side to once again nail down what should absolutely be a Premier League title winning season for Jurgen Klopp and company. Maybe more reality setting in for where this squad of players currently is. Which that the ripping the Band-Aid off tells you how much help they're going to need in the summer to add some important pieces.
You know what mine is, don't you? You know what it is.
Give it to me. Oh yeah, give it to me.
Fulham, West Ham United. Because Fulham right now, I think we've lost 3, maybe 4 in a row. Mitrovic is suspended. They look like a team that have done their business this season. Marco Silva is not on the touchline for his antics at Old Trafford. And I've done my list, as you know. I don't have West Ham winning a single game from what's left and finishing on 31 points. From what is left, this is kind of the game. This is the game where I think, they've won one away game all season, so I don't see them winning it. And frankly, David Moyes has looked out to lunch for a long, long time now. The idea as well is so dry at this point. I'm staggered that he stayed on for this long, but frankly, it's too late in the season to make a change. There's nobody left. If Rafa Benitez is the answer, what's the question? So I'm not looking forward to this because, West Ham have so much to play for and Fulham have nothing to play for. Fulham have overachieved. West Ham have staggeringly underachieved. They've got to go there and win. They've got to go there and be better in every respect than they were against both Southampton, where they won, and Newcastle, where they were humiliated. And so I'm not looking forward to it because if they don't win it, I don't even mean draw it. Don't win it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing 35 points. I'm not seeing 33 points. I'm seeing 31 at the moment. And that's taken into account a draw in this game. So I think they have to go there and win. And if they line up, if that lineup comes out and I see Thomas Souček in it and Thilo Kehrer in it, 4-2-3-1 with Souček in midfield, a pair of number 8s, it doesn't work. He can't control a ball. Thilo Kehrer, he's not a footballer. If he was working in like a coffee house and I gave him if I gave him my coffee order, I'd have to double check it. He'd probably come back with like a steak sandwich for Tim, but no, I wanted a oat milk latte for Tom. Like he's just utterly useless. Couldn't even do a cushion header back to the goalkeeper. So I want to see 8 changes from the team midweek. And unfortunately, the Conference League dream is over now. The reserves are going to need to win that because the first team has got to stay up in the Premier League. So, no, that's the game. I feel a lot of hate towards it already. I feel nothing but hate in my gut about that. So
no more Tom Henny. No more Tom Henny.
No more Tom Henny. Right. Those are our predictions for the forthcoming weekend. Find out what happens across the weekend, and indeed be back with us on Tuesday for a full Week in the Tackle podcast, the full 45-minute program. Danny, where are you this weekend for MLS?
I've got Seattle at home, Seattle Sounders at home against St. Louis City SC. So second in the West, playing host to number 1 in the West. I'll be on with Max Brados. It'll be a fun one. By the way, we have another amazing review that we got to end the show with. Little Scotty Watson on Tuesday dropping a review. You want to read this one?
No, I want you to read it. I've not read it. Hit me.
2 hosts. That was too loud. 2 hosts. One is a grumpy pundit from England with almost no filter and a decent amount of bile. That's true. He does have verbal diarrhea. Yeah. Is it Levin or Levin? Levin with a goddamned hilarious, biting, thoughtful delivery. Co-host, an extremely good-looking ex-player. And he didn't say extremely good-looking, but that's just me. So one is a co-hosted ex-player, color announcer in MLS, national team broadcast, who's laid back and engages in playful banter.
Ooh,
the best banter you'll hear. And at the end, you'll change to another podcast without realizing you just learned a hell of a lot. Well, Scotty Watson. Great review.
Thanks, Lil. Do you know what? I love the review. It was really good, and I appreciate the compliments in it. But I have a lot of time respecting someone who have Lil in their name. Lil. Because Americans can do Lil. Like you have a lot of like rappers and things that are Lil something.
Yeah.
In England, you can't say that because Lil is like your aunt that works down the laundrette who smokes 40 pence in a day. Okay. So like Fag Ash Lil is it's a Rod Stewart lyric in one of the songs. Fag Ash Lil. Oh, let's go down the laundrette with Dot and Fag Ash Lil. So that's what I think of you, Scotty. And a fag is a cigarette, by the way.
Cigarette, ash, Lil. Yeah. Okay.
That's another English colloquialism for you. Fag Ash Lil.
You learned one today too in the middle of the show.
Which is
there's a word that you cannot say in America that you use that is perfectly acceptable over in England. And
well, I wouldn't say perfectly acceptable, but it's below the George Carlin line, where apparently it's above it in America.
But what's interesting is the words that you were telling us, the 2 words that you were like a no-go, like no fly zone, don't even think about it. I would have been like, wait, what? Like I would have never, ever, ever thought. See, here it is. We're cultural exchange. We're cultural exchange students.
That's why Lil Scotty is listening and learning a hell of a lot every week. The full Week in the Tackle podcast is available for you on Tuesday, the extended program looking back at the week in soccer. Dunny's on MLS this weekend. I'll be with Premier League Live and our international TalkSport listeners covering Man City 7, Southampton 0. There's another prediction for you. We'll see you on Tuesday.